Once you understand the relationship between power and boundaries, your personal boundaries are going to get stronger, and that's going to lower your anxiety. A boundary is a feeling in your body, and that's it. It's either yes or no. Like your friend calls you up and says, hey, you want to go out and get coffee? You feel inside. It's either yes or no. Your body already knows what it wants, so we need to learn to listen to that. You know that tight feeling in the chest when someone asks you to do something that you don't want to do? That's a no. Okay? That quiet excitement that you get when something feels right? That's a yes. That's your inner boundary talking to you. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you are going to understand something about yourself that's going to give you more strength to navigate these really crazy times. So, are you ready? Let's go. So, this is you. And this is you right here, and this is your cool little heart. And when you're practicing power 2 with your boundaries, you're in touch with your no and you're in touch with your yes. So when somebody asks you to do something, you feel into your body and you know if it's excitement, it's yes. If it's a little tightness, it's no. And this is something you have to practice every day. You want to keep this alive inside of you, because this is your compass in the world, so that you know when to say yes and when to say no. And that's going to lower your anxiety so much when you're in alignment with that. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about that. The next thing we're going to talk about is how we get wobbly, okay? We can hold that power 2 with ourselves where we know our yes and we know our no, but all of a sudden somebody walks in the room and asks us something and we lose it. Like, why does that happen? Here's another diagram. And you'll notice this one's a little bit messier, because this is you, this is your beautiful heart, and here's your no, and here's your yes. But somebody walks in the room, or your boss asks you to do something, or your mom wants you to come over for dinner, and maybe now you're afraid. You feel no, but you're afraid that if you say no, someone will get mad. You're maybe feel like you don't want to lose any friends, so you better show up even though you're tired. Or there's some sort of threat to our survival that makes our boundary with ourselves a little bit cloudy. So power over uses fear, scarcity, and subtle threats to our sense of belonging. And that could come from an actual, like, outside person threatening us, but it can also come from inside of us. Like I mentioned, not wanting to lose a friendship, wanting to please other people, afraid of what people think of us. We will say yes when we mean no, because we don't want to lose something. So here's an example. You finally set a boundary with a family member, and you say, no, I'm not coming to Sunday dinner. I need to stay home and rest. And then your sister calls. Ring, ring. Mom's really hurt. She's crying. The whole family's worried about you. What's going on? We don't understand you. And just like that, that boundary is gone. You no longer know. You're like, your chest is tight. Your mind starts spinning. You're wondering if you're selfish, if you're damaging the family. Maybe you should just go. And your yes and your no is like completely gone. You can't even find it. And that's how power over can diminish our boundary. And when that happens, your anxiety is going to go up because you're out of alignment. You're saying yes when you mean no. And now you got to push yourself through something you don't want to be doing. And that is going to cause your nervous system to go up into anxiety. Whereas if you stay with your yes when you mean yes, you'll notice your anxiety comes down. Here's how you find your way back to you, to your power two. First, you recognize what's happening. You state it. Your nervous system is shut down. You're feeling afraid that you're going to let people down. You feel the power over. And then you take a moment and you sit with yourself. Put your feet on the ground. You pull your energy into yourself. Maybe you take some breaths. You come back, right? And you come back and you say, what do I really need right now? I need to stay home and I need to rest. That's what I need. And this is how you find your way back to your yes. Now, the third power is when it all comes together, okay? This is called power with. And power with is collaborative, it's sharing, it's working together, and it's clear. And when you're clear and you know your yes and your no, and you state it clearly, then you can collaborate and share with other people. Think about that family example. Mom's upset, she's crying. But when you bring yourself back to yourself and you're now in your power two, you can collaborate more. So instead of spiraling out of control, sacrificing your truth, you pick up the phone, you call your family, you say, hey, I love you and I love the family, but this Sunday I need to stay home and rest. I'll see you next week. That's power with. And that's your inner boundary being expressed on the outside. Clearly, kindly, and without losing yourself. Now, here's some real talk though. Some people in your life will meet you there and they'll be like, great, I'm so glad you're taking care of yourself. And other people won't. They'll get upset, they'll still cry because they might use some more power over tactics, maybe guilt, fear, but power with is not dependent on other people. It's dependent on you staying connected to yourself. So even when somebody can't meet you, you can still show up with your boundary, lovingly, honestly, and grounded. Because you're not doing it for them. You're doing it for you. And when you do it for you, it helps everybody. And your anxiety will go way down. You know, power with is really about being a good partner with yourself. Loving yourself enough to tell the truth to yourself and to others. That is you caring for your inner world. And you caring for your yes and your no the way that you would care for someone else. And people around you will feel that. And your relationships, they'll get better. And your anxiety will go down. So to wrap up, I just want to remind you what a boundary is. A boundary is knowing in your body what is a yes and what is a no. And then taking action on that. And by doing that, your anxiety stays lower. So I want to share something from my heart. If you've been watching my videos, you're going to start to notice a theme. When I talk about managing your emotions, lowering your anxiety, dealing with loneliness, having better relationships, power, I'm always pointing you back to yourself. Because all of this emotional mastery stuff is dependent on your relationship between you and you. So I know it can all feel a little bit complicated, and I get it. I'm an empath too, and I'm sensitive. And I've lived with this for a long time. But I promise you that once you use these tools and you really begin to honor you, and once you really start applying what I'm talking about in my videos to your life, you're going to begin to reframe your own sensitivity and your own emotions, and you're going to become more empowered. Because emotions, they're just energy. They're energy in motion. That's all they are. And the more you can embrace them, the sooner you can get back to living your life and bringing your gifts into this world. Share this with an empath who needs to hear it, And then check out the link below for my free guides, my upcoming trainings that'll show you step by step how to live as your empowered self. Are you a self-aware person, but you still wake up in the morning with morning dread and a lot of anxiety and racing thoughts and are kind of struggling with your emotions? I totally get it. I am a very self-aware person. I've been a therapist for over a decade, and I struggled on and off and can still have big emotions. So that's why I developed this guide. It's called From Chaos to Clarity, and it's a step-by-step guide to help you build more awareness about your big emotions, whether it's anxiety or depression. Then I created a video, and it's a walkthrough of that guide. So you can go ahead and download the free guide. You can click the link below and then head over to my video on my YouTube channel. It's called Anxiety is a Doorway, where I walk you through it so we can do it together side by side. So check it out. See you in the next episode.